Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dice.Roll, the Queerest Pathfinder Podcast on the planet, where it's hard questions like, can you convict a ghost of a crime?
You could. But you can't punish them.
Like, maybe in real life now, because I think that there would probably have to be laws for that, but I would assume that in on Galarion, they'd probably have, like, protocol for that, maybe?
Yeah, so what is the protocol? That's what I'm asking.
Well, that would, like, depend on the country, because, like, if it was in, like, Geb...
Yeah, the Geb...
I assume they'd have, like, fully normal laws for that.
Yeah, because everyone's dead there. Geb is a land of undead. I'm talking about, like, Goka. Like, we're doing Ruby Phoenix. We're talking Goka. What happens if, like, I don't know, some dude's been convicted of murder, and then they find out that the real killer is a fucking ghost? What the fuck do you do?
Exercise it?
So you're suggesting the death penalty?
Yes.
Ouch, man. I have no clue. I feel like most cases...
What if it's like a petty crime, too? Like, what if it's like, he stole an apple?
Why would he steal an apple?
For
He
fun.
can't fucking eat it.
Exactly, he doesn't want anyone else to eat them. I don't know. Like, are you gonna exercise him then?
Revenge on humanity?
Are you gonna exercise him then?
I don't know. You can't put him in, like, a box or anything, or you can't, like, give him a slap on the wrist.
So because you can't do conventional punishment, you're going to murder him. You're going to send him into the great beyond.
When you exercise them, you don't murder them, like, for good,
They
right?
cease existing.
I thought they just, like, went to the afterlife.
Maybe they don't... They're not ready!
Well, then get them ready!
All for stealing an apple.
Pack your fucking bags! It's your fault if you're not ready.
Authoritarian scum. Anyway.
Fuck you.
Authoritarian scum.
Would we like to play some Pathfinder?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little authoritarian right now, I guess.
So, previously, in Fists of the Ruby Phoenix, our heroes journeyed through the Isle of Bunmu, finding many shrines to ancient Tomatan gods, and after resting in the evening, they claimed their 10 silver feathers at the hands of Hana's hundreds. However, word spreads fast once you become the wielder of 10 feathers, and soon other teams from around the island began hunting them. Masami met with a contact in the stone markets. Sanku had a bad dream. Chuji gave Sanku a glass of water. And you were all jumped on by a team of cowboys from the land of Arcadia, the Nightmares, who have demanded a battle with you, and if they win, they will take 3 of your feathers. Are we ready to begin?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd love to fuck up a cowboy.
Okay. So, Radiant wins. The 3 of you stand in an open-air arena. The land is flat, and a wall surrounds you on all sides. The 2 enforcers, Hikari and the enforcers of the Nightmares, stand atop a platform towards the back. Part of the wall has crumbled and given way to a small lake, while a tree has fallen across the south half of the wall, breaking it. You all stand in the center of what is left of the arena. The 3 members of the Nightmares are in battle poses. Their leader, Calamity Callie, a halfling gunslinger, points a gun, grins, and asks, "So let me ask you, Radiant Winds, with your 10 feathers, are you feeling lucky?"
Yeah. Feel a little punky.
That's lame.
Maybe.
Give or take. Depends on how this goes.
Okay. She kind of cracks her neck a little bit, and the 2 boys behind her, Rovidar and Junero, they roll up their sleeves, and you can see along their arms, they have tattoos in a language that I think, Masami, you're probably the smartest one here. You quickly realize those are in Infernal, the language of the devils.
Oh, okay.
And they start to glow as they begin casting a spell. And Callie points her gun and says, "All right, then draw! And everyone, we're gonna roll initiative."
Alright, baby. 39.
40.
Oh, wow.
Can I actually use the thing? I have something that lets me roll twice.
For initiative?
For initiative, yeah.
Yeah, that would be your... Oh, that's your Eye of Apprehension. Are you gonna use it?
Yeah, I'll use it today.
Okay. You have a little thing on your collar, Sanku. And, it is an eyeball, made of glass. You bring your hand to it and you crush it. and your eyes kind of glow, and you start moving before anyone else can. So, thank you. You get to re-roll your initiative.
Okay. 33 is my second roll, which is better.
Okay, cool. Which takes you from last place to be in front of Calamity Callie, which is wonderful. Alright, everyone, ready? Fight! Masami, you are first in order. You see Calamity Callie is the halfling gunslingers pulling her gun and getting ready to shoot, while her two cowboy companions, the brothers Rovidar and Junero, are seemingly preparing to cast spells. What do you do?
I could do a setup, but I think what they're going to do is they're actually going to rush up with their twin kama instead of their sword.
Okay.
So let me just draw that actually. So, rushing up with one action, then they're going to twin feints.
Okay, go for it. So you make a deception check, right?
Yes.
Okay, Masami, you rush up to Calamity Callie and you swing, and you've rolled a 39 on your deception check. So how does this work? How do you deceive Callie with a feint?
I make it look like they're gonna go for actually go for the throat, I think, to make them flinch. But instead, split second with the second comma, they go for her wrist as an almost disarm.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, okay, cool. And I just realized you didn't need to do that because that's not how twin feint works. But I'll let you attack. She's automatically flat-footed against your second attack.
Okay.
Also, wait, you got surprise attack, so she's flat-footed anyway. Oh, good.
Yep. Alright, so wait, does this count as a first strike or a second strike?
First strike.
Okay. 32.
32 is a hit, and she is flat-footed against this attack because you got surprise attack, and you moved before she did. So you will do sneak attack damage. Get her!
24.
Wow, okay, yeah, she takes that damage. And you can attack again.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it. Oh, the rollback miss.
Okay, that is going to be a miss
30.
just about.
Yep.
Now, Masami, here's the weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
That should have hit. You are certain that should have hit. You swing with your second attack, and as she's knocking back, you see she fumbles with her gun, and she almost drops it, and she goes, "What?" And she actually dodges completely out of the way of your attack to grab her gun out of the air. And you can't help feel but hey, what the fuck? That's bullshit. And as she kind of stumbles up and looks at you, she kind of wiggles her eyebrows and says, "Halfling luck, baby."
Huh. Alright. Change of tactics then.
You have a feeling this is going to be a very frustrating fight. Is that your turn, Masami?
Yes, that's their turn.
Okay. Shuji, it is your turn. Calamity Callie is squaring off against Masami, but on the backside, behind her, Rovidar and Junero are seemingly preparing some spells. What do you do?
What if they weren't preparing spells, and what if they were dead instead?
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
That would be very advantageous for us.
Oh, I haven't picked my stance yet. Hold on.
Yeah, which stance are you going to pick with Stance Savant?
As if I pick anything else besides Stoked Flame Stance.
You love being fast. Go, go, go!
I'm not particularly scared of them. So, she's just going to use my action to get up to Rovidar.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll punch Calamity Callie first with Flurry of Blows.
Okay, go for it.
That's 38 and 45.
38 is a hit, and 45 is a crit!
Nice. Alright, so that's 12 for the first one, and then the crit hit is 38.
And she's going to take 2d10 persistent fire damage as you smack her so hard, and fire explodes over her, and she's like, "Whoa!" Meaning you did 50 damage to her. You can see that Calamity Callie is injured, and also on fire, which is never a good thing to be. I can't think of one situation where being on fire is advantageous.
I can't either.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's stumbling back, and she's got a burn mark in the shape of a a patch of fire in the shape of a fist on her chest, and she looks up at you like, ugh! I'll get you for that one, friend!
Oh, you can try. And Chuji turns their attention to Robidar instead, and is going to punch them.
Okay, go for it.
Is that going to be minus 10 or minus 5?
That'll be a minus 10.
Okay. 32.
A 32 is a hit! You punch
Nice.
Robidar in the face. Roll damage.
That's going to be 17 damage.
Okay, nice. You see him kind of stumbling away, embers burning from your hands, and he silently looks up at you, and you see a glint in his eye. He's not happy.
Ooh.
So unhappy is he, in fact, that it is his turn now. And what he's going to do is he's going to take a 5-foot step away from you.
Is that fleeing?
See, normally it would be, but because it's a step, it doesn't
Yeah.
actually trigger reactions.
Yep.
Fuck you.
He is not being an idiot, because he knows that if he were to cast a spell in your face, it wouldn't go well for him.
Just punch him.
So he takes a 5-foot step back, and then you see him beginning to cast Flaming Sphere! And he's going to create a Flaming Sphere which is going to catch Masami and Chuji in a ball of fire.
Oh, it's a fire spell?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's I just don't let it happen.
What are you doing?
I quench. I'm gonna use quench.
Oh, okay, cool. So you need to make a nature check against his spell DC.
31.
A 31 against his spell DC is a success. Sanku, describe to me how you quench out this flaming sphere that he's about to catch Chuji and Masami in, and wow, it was gonna suck for Chuji because he got on that one.
I think that it's a flaming sphere.
Yeah.
I think that when it forms, it like pops into water and like just splashes on the ground.
Okay, you do that, and Sanku, you can see Robidar over there look up at you with a grim face, completely silent, but you can see he's pissed.
Senku just smiles back.
Okay. It is now Junero's turn. And Junero follows his brother's gaze, looks at you, Sanku, and begins to cast a spell as well. And this one, those infernal runes start to glow, and shadows and smoke start to whirl around his feet, and he throws those shadows and swirls at you, and they form into the shape of a nightmare! He casts Summon Fiend, and he summons a nightmare, a skeletal flaming horse that screams, and it's going to charge at you, Sanku, and it's going to bite you.
Senku goes, oh, I get it. Oh god!
And that is going to be, Sanku, a 18 to hit.
Oh my god.
No, it's just not.
What's your AC?
Gonna work.
What's your AC?
It's 30. My AC is 33, so it just doesn't work.
No, that's a crit fail.
That's a crit fail, dude.
Yeah,
he got an 18.
Minus 10, that's 23. That is 5 off.
I can't do math. Well,
Yeah, okay. So what he does is actually, Masami, this is great. As he's running towards Sanku, Masami, you actually catch him by accident.
What?
You get a free reaction to hit him if you like.
Fuck yeah. I'll take that shit. It's a 38.
A 38 is going to be a crit against the nightmare. As it charges past you, you turn and on instinct slash into its side, and it lets out a ear-splitting whinny.
So the thing about Kama is that they have trip.
Oh, would you like to, instead of knocking him down, trip him?
Yes.
Okay, so no damage, but he will get a crit fail on a trip, which I believe does do damage anyway, just not as much.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I want him to waste a turn.
He will land prone and take 1d6 bludgeoning damage. 6 bludgeoning damage, okay. So he lands flat on his fucking face, and he just collapses on the floor, and he's now prone, which is wonderful.
I think Masami looks back and goes, oh. Alright, cool.
As you're laughing, you now see Junero staring at you angrily.
They wink. They do the fucking bro down and go, you want a piece of me too?
Why is Masami the sexiest character? Sanku, it's your turn. There's a fucking horse. Also, there's several cowboys. What do you do?
Well, I move away from the things that are close to me, because I'm not built for that. Thank you.
Okay. You dash?
Yeah, I'm gonna move 25 feet north. And then I'm gonna cast a spell with my special eyes. I think I'm gonna cast Tidal Rings on Gennaro.
The one who set the nightmare on you. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to make a spell attack roll, and if it works, you'll grapple him from a distance.
Well, 36 on Gennaro.
A 36 is going to be a success. Watery rings explode out from around him and grab him, and you see him struggling silently and coolly against your tidal rings. And he is grabbed. How many actions is it to cast tidal rings?
It's only one, but I don't have anything else that I can do this turn that's only one turn, so I'm not going to do anything else.
Sanku, perhaps I could help you with your turn. If you ask me for hints, I can help you.
Okay, I'll ask you for hints.
Who would you like help with, Sanku? He says this as you're, casting the spell.
The guy that I'm targeting.
Alright. And, Sanku, you can roll, Society.
Me when I roll Society.
You do that.
Okay. Yeah, Sanku, you can tell from a quick glance that this guy is a gunslinger, but more importantly, he's also a sorcerer. And it seems that he has the diabolic bloodline, which means he has a lot of fire spells and a lot of kind of evil spells. He's not necessarily evil himself, but, certainly he's gonna have spells which are a little scary.
It's just part of the bloodline.
Yeah. Is that your turn, Sanku?
Yep.
Lolo says, and that's what I know, Sanku. Be careful.
I will be careful, I promise.
Okay. It is gonna be Calamity Callie's turn. Callie says, no good fighting you from here. See ya, chumps! And she's gonna turn and run.
No, she's not.
You think?
Fuck me. I keep doing this. Okay.
And she's also flat-footed against me, too, because it's Wind Feint, right?
She is still flat-footed against you, yes.
Yay!
That's a 31.
That's a hit.
That's a 43.
That's a crit! Oh, God, Callie, no!
Holy shit.
50!
18. 50, holy shit!
I need a fortitude save.
Okay.
Okay, that's a crit against deafen. She is not deafened, but holy shit, that's still funny.
As your camera slashes into her, there's an eruption of thunder, and she is knocked flying back a few feet. She takes 50 fucking damage, which means she's really doing not so great. And Chuji, you did 18 damage.
Yep.
So you do both bump her, but she does turn and run, and she spends 2 turns running as far away as possible from you all. Meaning that she's 50 feet away. And she then turns, and she is going to shoot at you, Masami. And she says, eat bullet, my friend! Ka-chow! And that is going to be a 41 to hit you, Masami.
Ooh, hits.
Okay, and that is going to be 18 damage.
All right.
Wow, not worth it.
Not really.
She is backed away, and you can see she is, clenching her side. She is badly hurt, and she is on fire, which means that she is gonna take 13 more damage. Oh, Calamity Callie, we're really in it now.
Huh.
It is now Masami's turn. Calamity Callie is headed for the hills, and you can see she is badly beat, and her 2 boys are still here. She's 50 feet away. What do you do?
Well, let's see. Oh, Masami's gonna spook her. Masami's going to scare the shit out of her. Time jump.
Okay. How does this work?
So, I gain... It is 1 action. I only use my voice.
Okay.
And I gain 2 actions to... leap, stand, step, or stride. And if I have the appropriate speed, I can burrow, climb, fly, or swim. So... they cast time jump. I'm gonna pop up immediately right next to her.
Oh my god, okay. She does that as she stumbles back a little bit.
I'm gonna pop up right next to her, drop their comma.
Okay.
As a free action.
Okay.
Then quick draw their Chokuto.
Okay.
And wait, quick draw gives me a strike, so can I quick draw with a spell strike?
I will allow it.
Okay. I have to ask.
No worries. Okay, and what are you casting on her?
They're gonna cast telekinetic projectile, and the thing that they're gonna project is the comma at their feet.
Ooh, okay, cool. Roll this damage. Well, roll to hit first. Let's see if it hits.
Yeah. 35.
35 is a hit. Roll damage.
So damage from the strike is 17.
Okay. She's still standing.
Then with telekinetic projectile, 26.
Masami, how the fuck do you knock her out?
I think the force of their swing with their Chokuto kind of levitates their comma, and the comma kind of spin in a way where after the strike, which is just a generic like slash down, it kind of crosses between the both of them, and the handles of the comma knock against both of her temples.
Ooh, she like wobbles side to side, and despite her many luck abilities, Calamity Callie is KO.
Damn. Damn.
You really, you guys fucking smacked her. You can see her two boys off to the side shoot looks that are a little worried to each other, but they stay in position. Masami, that is your turn, right?
That is their turn.
All right, Chuji, you've got Rovidar up, to the side. He took a 5-foot step away from you to try fireball you last time, and Junero, who is grappled by tidal rings. What do you do?
Yeah, Chuji will just take a step forward and then 1-inch punch him.
Okay,
With
get him!
actions.
Are you going towards Rovidar, or are you going towards Junero?
Rovidar.
Okay, get his ass.
28.
28 is a hit against this fucking squishy sorcerer. Roll damage!
38 damage.
Okay, nice. Chuji, your fist decks into this guy, and he stumbles back, and he's badly injured. You can see he's really close to being KO'd. And is that your turn?
Yeah, that is.
He kind of stumbles back, and he grimaces in your face, and he doesn't say something, but he does go, "Ugh."
Chuji just laughs.
And it is his turn. And he is going to start casting a spell on you. He's going to aim his pistol at you, and he's going to shoot you with a produced flame. Fire explodes out from his gun, and that is going to be a 36 to hit, Chuji?
36 just hits.
Okay, and that is going to be 8 damage.
My lord.
Damn.
Wow, he rolled really bad there,
That was
huh?
a horrible roll.
There was an attempt.
Is that literally the minimum damage?
I think it is quite literally the lowest damage he could have.
Because he rolls...
Okay, he mostly rolled
D4s?
ones, and then
Yeah.
1 4 and 1 3. He looks
I
a
can do
little.
something really funny.
Yeah?
I could play Grazing Blow and
Do you-
make it the minimum damage.
You literally. Okay, sure. Do you want to? Do you want to shit in his face?
I kinda do. I never get to play my hero point cards nowadays.
Okay, so call your hero point card, read out the quote, and tell me what happens.
Oh, the code doesn't really work because it says, I thought it was done for, and Chuji was definitely not done for. Play after a foe hits you with a strike. If the foe rolled a critical success, it gets a success instead. If the foe rolled a success, it deals minimum damage instead.
1, 2, 3, 4. He does 6 damage to you, Chuji. As you just duck a little bit, and the flame is like kind of scorched you, but it's really nothing. And he just looks really like disgruntled. So I think with his last action, he's going to hit you with his gun. He's going to pistol whip you. And that is going to be a 24 to hit.
That's a crit fail.
No fucking way.
Yeah, way.
He punches at you, and you jump out of the way, and he's panting, and you can tell that he is fatigued. His AC drops by 1, as if he needed that. He's panting heavily, and he wipes his mouth a little bit, and he shakes his head at you, and draws his finger across his neck, like that's going to do anything. That's his turn. It's Junnero's turn. Junnero is not an idiot. He is going to immediately try to escape from this, and he's going to roll athletics. So, Sanku, does a 21 beat your spell DC?
No, that's actually a crit fail.
Cool. He's super can't escape. He, I think, is going to try shoot you with his gun, which is going to be a 25 against your AC. Wow. And on his last action, he grunts, and he waves a hand true like the water, and the Nightmare is going to run up to you. With his 2 actions, he is casting Flaming Gallop. And he strides up to triple his speed, and he's actually going to run first off through Chuji space, and then through Sanku space. So both of you make a reflex save. Chuji does count for standstill.
Fuck yeah. Is it Robotar or Gennaro?
Nightmare, actually.
The Nightmare.
Oh, the Nightmare, okay. 28.
28, okay, that is a hit. Roll damage.
18.
Okay, now Chuji, I want you to make a reflex save as this horse gallops through your space, leaving scorching fire behind him.
Okay. I rolled a 26, which came from a 2.
That's going to be a pass, and because you got Path to Perfection, that's a critical success.
So true.
You rolled a 2, and that is going to be, because of Path to Perfection, you pass its DC because it's a lower level creature, and then you get a critical success, you take no damage. Sanku, you unfortunately pass instead of crit succeed, so you're going to take half damage, which is 2 fucking damage. Robodar and Gennaro are starting to look at each other and grit their teeth. And I think...
What kind of damage is it?
Fire damage. I think the 2 of them glance at each other, and then just raise their hands. Well, Gennaro tries to raise his hands. They can tell they're outclassed. Their boss is down, and really they relied on their boss for everything. The 2 of them just silently raise their hands, bow their heads. And they have surrendered.
Oh.
Which happens less often than you'd think, but these guys do specifically surrender in their stat block.
Okay.
Damn.
Alright.
And the enforcer of the Nightmares calls out and says, "The Nightmares are unwilling to battle further. Radiant Winds win!"
Well, shit.
Alright.
Yay!
And I think what you see next makes you a little sad, in that the enforcer of the Nightmares takes 3 feathers, and then with a flash they turn into embers and disappear.
Damn. So that's what happens.
Hikari nods and says, "You can't have more than 10 feathers."
Hey, why didn't that happen with the other team then?
She kind of shrugs and says, "Well, they gave it to you before the feathers were destroyed."
That's true, they did just hand it off to us.
Huh.
The 2 boys quietly go and pick up Calamity Callie, who really would have been quite a threat if she hadn't been critted so hard so fast. And they kind of like pick her up and dust her off and say, "What? Boys, you didn't surrender, did you? Come on, those are 3 feathers!" The boys, just silently bow their heads a little bit.
Are you okay?
She looks and says, "Yeah, you fought real well. I totally underestimated you all."
It's the baby face, isn't it?
Well, you're all real young.
Was it the 2 tails?
I'm 18!
Chuchi and I are like 23, 24.
Yeah.
I'm in my 40s.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Damn, you look good.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm so sorry for the hit. I'm so sorry for the double knock to the temples.
Look, you fought well. We're gonna need to find some more feathers to keep us in and running, boys. And she turns to Gennaro, and Gennaro nods and waves a hand. And the Nightmare he conjured kind of like rumbles over. And he says, "All right. Nightmares out!" And the 2 boys jump on the back of the Nightmare, and they throw Callie towards the front. And she raises her hat and says, "Best of luck with the rest of the competition, y'all. You've earned it! Hi-ho, nightmare!
to see you.
Away! And the nightmare flies away!
Oh, it can fly.
It flies away into the air, galloping into the night.
So long, cowboys.
I don't know everything about the world.
Huh.
And,
Impressive for a thing that doesn't hit that hard.
Yeah, huh? Hey, you gotta you and Chuji like walks up to Masami's like,
What?
leave some for the rest of us.
What?
Hey, it was pretty good. Chuji, you just wanted to hit more people.
Yes, but you go for the head of the snake, and yeah, that's fun. It's great, but they always give up right after.
Chuji, people are gonna keep trying to come after us. You'll be fine. You'll get to.
Yeah,
That's true. We have
the
several
chaos.
teams plus the enforcer team that are going to come after us, so I think you'll have more chances. I'll go for the jobbers next time. How about that?
Thanks. Or chances, yeah, but there's nothing like a good, solid fight from start to finish.
I know. I was a little disappointed when they surrendered too, but at the same time, I also would have felt bad considering how they were hitting. It wouldn't have been much of a satisfying fight in the end anyway, let's be honest.
I think Lolo nods a little bit and says, if anything, I would see this as a proof that you've all grown. Perhaps on the first day when we were barely ready to fight, these three would have been an extremely difficult task for us. But how much you've grown, it's obvious that you're ready to start taking on much more difficult opponents. Which is code for... You guys, these would have been a boss level threat when you first got here, but because of how quickly you leveled up,
Oh wow!
you have been able to take them out with very little problem. Now you need to remember, you've got your 10 feathers. You're no longer trying to prove yourselves.
Yep.
You're trying to keep yourself from being taken down by the many people who are now seeking you out.
That's true.
Hikari comes up to you all and smiles and says, it's still early in the day, everyone. Where shall we head next? And I put you back on the map of Bunmu.
Fuck yeah.
It's time to keep exploring.
It is.
I like
Oh,
meeting
fuck.
all these people. A lot of
yeah.
really weird, crazy people, and I like it.
There's certainly a lot of characters, huh?
Yep.
So, you have done 5 actions out of 32 today, meaning you have 27 actions left. You currently stand at the head of a peninsula, near the lighthouse where you were scouted out by the nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
What now?
Downward Ho?
Yeah. Do we want to, teleport anywhere after that, or do we just want to keep looking around the south?
Well, there's an entire bottom half of the island that we haven't even looked at. We haven't even gone to that teleportation tower.
Yeah.
Then yeah, we could go to the south and look there. There might be more shrines there, and there might be treasure, since
Okay.
we haven't been there at all.
Okay.
And we might run into more people, because they are looking for us now.
That's true.
Yeah, the DC for traveling teams has increased. They are now actively searching you out.
Senku's like, I promise, Chuji, you'll be able to kick more ass.
I better.
Maybe we'll run into that team with the giant bird.
Maybe I can get my training's worth. Beat the shit out of another bird. I'm ready.
Alright.
I feel like Chuji just wants
I'm
another
hungry
talisman.
after that first one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which direction are you all headed? The only place you haven't visited nearby is to the east. However, you could continue to the south and look and see if there's anything over there.
I guess Masami looks at the map and goes, wait, I mean,
Huh?
we're already here. There's like this little portion that we haven't even looked at, surrounded by all the places that we actually have looked at. Just a little coastal area over by the east.
Makes me so mad you missed it. Sorry. There, yeah,
We
you've
can go there. I love
missed
the
all
coast.
squares except this one.
Yeah, sure. I guess we can go.
Yeah, we can just stop by there, see what's there, and then go back to the teleportation tower and go from there.
Yeah. I mean, we have all day.
We do have all
Okay.
day.
Lolo nods and says, towards the coast, everyone! Hi-ho! So, I assume you take a hex action to traverse over there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and are you going to take a hex action to recon this place and see what's around?
Yes.
Okay. So, you guys take a look around. And there's some cool stuff around. Like, you find a cool abandoned house, some like scenic views. But as you're walking and kind of looking out over how beautiful the coast is, you can see that there's a small beach cove abutting Bunmu's largest coral reef.
Ooh.
And you enter into this cave. And that's when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
The eggshell.
I'm sorry?
The eggshell.
Ugh.
I don't like where this is going.
Ugh.
Yeah?
It is an egg. Or at least it was.
And the shell.
And
So an
it's a
eggshell.
shell. It's also the size of a house.
Ha!
Oh my god.
As large as a house.
Why is
And
it
over a
spiky?
foot thick. The inside is like a weird purple color. And the shell is covered in like weird black spots that almost raise like thorns here and there.
Weird.
Why
Whatever-
is it spiky?
Whatever hatched from this thing is long gone by the looks of it.
That's not good.
What in the world hatched from this?
I don't know if I even want to find out.
Yeah, me either.
Lolo, however, comes off your shoulder, Senku. And he goes, And he's gonna roll
Do you know?
nature to figure out what's up with this thing, but anyone else can roll occultism, nature, or survival.
Happily.
And Lolo, I making an executive decision that he's gonna roll this.
Okay.
Shuji gets a 32 on occultism.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Oh!
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 So Lolo goes first with his 18 that he rolled. And he smugly turns to look at you all, and he says, "Well, everyone, I think it's obvious. This is the shell of a mighty sea dragon.
You guys come from
once had-
eggs?
I once hatched from one of these myself, you know."
Well, you're small.
Yeah, yours must have been a lot smaller.
He squinched
I
at
don't know. What?
Well,
you're
I
2
like
feet?
that you're small. You fit in my bag, and it is much easier to travel.
So, I think all of you do get, actually, a lot of information from your rolls. Mostly because Senku and Masami both rolled critical successes.
This is true. We did.
That did happen.
Now, Chuji, what you can tell, first off, is that the shell is marked by strange veins of seafloor sand.
Mhm.
That's all you can tell. It's bit like there's like textures in the shell that makes it look like it's from the sea,
Oh,
like it's been worn down by sand.
okay.
Senku, you can tell that the egg's shape and structure indicates that it was most likely laid by a reptilian creature. Specifically, a dinosaur. But obviously no typical dinosaur.
Interesting.
And Masami, what you can tell is that there are no signs of the hatched creature nearby. No footprints, nothing. To you, it is obvious that the creature emerged from the shell elsewhere, and the egg was placed here later by someone.
Oh. That at least means that we're safe, so I guess that's fine.
You can discuss your findings.
Hey, this is a dinosaur egg.
Yeah, it looks like it was hatched underwater, or at least was underwater for like a long time.
And...
There are no dinosaurs underwater.
well...
Clearly it's a sea
That's
dragon.
not true.
Lolo, I'm pretty sure there are sea dinosaurs.
No, those are sea-dwelling reptiles. Completely different.
They're fucking dinosaurs, you little man.
No, an archaeologist from the real world will agree with me that there's a biological distinction between them. Don't argue with me on this one.
Either way, this thing is long gone, and there are no tracks whatsoever, so I think we're okay.
But Sammy, what bugs you is that's true, but how the fuck did it get here?
Why is it here?
I don't know. That's the part that's tripping me up. I don't know why it's here. I don't know how it got here.
Maybe someone just put it here to freak people out? I mean, they had this whole island to themselves. The committee, sure.
True.
I don't know, whoever
I don't
puts
know
things
if they
together.
would do that. I feel like everything that that would have been put here would have been put here to, like, for a purpose. Wait, Hikari, I don't need to know details, just, were things placed here?
Hikari's just looking at it really confused and says, I don't know.
Do you have any idea what's going on? You don't have to say it if you can't, but...
Are we
I have
sure
no
it's not
idea.
a sea dragon egg? That seems the most likely thing to me.
Well, it's not, I don't think. It looks more like a dinosaur egg based on... And he goes off on stuff that he's studied.
Huh.
Lola looks a little impressed.
That's just what I read.
Well,
This is weird. Well,
Now-
if we see something giant and reptilian...
we know where it came from.
Now, Chuji, I will let you take some of these eggshells to use as monster parts.
I was just about to ask if I could take some.
I'll add those to your sheet later, but yes, you pick up some of the bigger and sturdier, but not too big and sturdy, shells, and maybe you'll be able to weave something great out of it.
Ooh.
I will say, you have to admit, this is some high quality shit. Like,
Yeah, wow.
you are not sure you've ever held monster parts quite so good.
Mhm.
You know, maybe it'll be something good, maybe you'll be able to make something great, but like, shit, man.
Yeah. Chuji, like, can't stop talking about it for, like, a good 20 minutes.
So, what do you guys do?
Well, there's nothing here for us, so
Yeah, nothing more at least.
we're on the island. Do we want to go?
What if we went down to the teleportation place, and we came out on the east over here, and he points towards the teleportation place to the east, and then we can explore all around this side like this.
Okay. Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Eastwards, ho!
Haha!
Okay, so you spend your next hex action returning back to Bunmu out of this cave. But as you're all leaving, you all just feel this feeling. You don't know what it is, but it's something. And you all make your way out. Okay, so you spend one action making your way towards the teleportation tower.
Yeah.
You step through, and you find yourselves towards the east of Danger Island. As you exit the teleportation tower, you can see that you are in an open plain.
Whoa.
There's some mountains to the south. There's some trees here and there, but really this seems to be a more flat part of Danger Island. A few hillocks here and there, but really it's nothing as bad as what you saw before.
Mm-hmm.
You can now go in any cardinal direction. What way are you going?
Do we want to go... Wait, which direction do you guys want to go? I picked the direction last time.
Maybe down? South?
Sure.
I'm kind of curious about that little enclosed lake.
Oh yeah, the lake next to the ocean.
Yeah, kind of fun.
Yeah, we can head
I
that
don't want
way.
to see it.
Yeah, let's head that way.
Alright.
Okay, so you're going to go down towards the lake, towards the south of the island?
Mhm.
Okay, and now I'm going to roll to see if anyone ambushes you. You are good for now.
Sick.
And that takes one recon action. You're not. Are you searching this area, or are you just headed directly toward the lake?
We could search the area before we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to search areas.
Yeah, I think we're just looking around in general.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me check what you find here. Okay, you pass by like a few interesting places, but nothing particularly stands out to you. Which is to say, nothing really on this side. Unfortunately, it's a mostly empty square. A rarity, honestly. This place is chock full of shit.
Damn.
So you're good for now.
Okay.
Which way you headed now? South towards the lake?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now the real question is southwest or southeast?
Maybe southeast so we can move to the west afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Do you want to recon again?
Yeah.
Okay. As you are searching, you find... So that's going to take you another 2 actions, bring you down to 21 actions left for the day.
Okay. Yeah, we ran through these quick.
Oh no, wait. As you are walking, you hear a booming voice. And it calls out to you all. Radiant wins!
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
And that's a familiar voice.
Oh, God.
And you turn, and there, standing with his arms folded, is Gumwai.
Hey, how's it
And
going?
it's a group of enforcers beside him.
Hi.
And you can see that he is approaching you, cracking his neck a little bit and says, I trust you've been doing well on Danger Island, my friends.
Yeah, pretty well.
Pretty good, pretty solid.
I'm sure
You know what I'm
heard
here
the
for.
news. Yes, yeah, we know.
Allow me to inspect your phoenix necklace.
Alright. And Chuji pulls the necklace out and kind of swings it a little bit in front of him.
He looks at it. He looks back up at you. I count 10. Most impressive.
Thank you.
Which makes you the second team we have uncovered, which has over 7 feathers.
Is it the Lightkeepers? Are they assholes?
He raises an eyebrow and says, No.
Oh. Well, who was it?
Oh, there's more people.
He kind of raises an eyebrow and says, You will come with me. I'll introduce you to them. After all, now that we have you both here, we'll be able to do something exciting.
Are we gonna, all fight?
No. Even
No.
better.
They gonna make us fight each other?
He just
No.
turns and, gestures for you to follow, and Hikari nods and says, You should follow Captain Gumwar.
Right as we get flanked.
Okay.
He leads you to the north for a little bit. And as he leads you, he brings you to a kind of a beach, which has a load of palm trees on it.
Oh.
And standing on the beach are another group of people, all of whom seem to be kind of chatting with each other, and they have another group of enforcers with them.
Oh, shit.
And Gumwhite barks out to those guys and says, Arms of balance! And the 4 people turn and look at you. And you can tell that they are monks.
Oh my god.
Standing at the front is a... you at first assume they're a human, but I think, Sanku, you quickly recognize that they are not. In fact, Sanku, I think you recognize each of them very quickly for what they are.
Sanku can tell.
Planar scions. Except for one of them. One of them is in fact a human.
Oh, okay. I was even the human-looking guy?
Standing at the front is a Suli. A Suli is basically has the power of 2 elements in their blood. You can see that, as she kind of stands, she has a really green and grey robes and black wavy hair with a shock of white through them, and almost glowing blue eyes, which seem to spark with electricity and rumble with clouds in them. To her right is a human man who looks very, very buff and athletic. He is shirtless. He has a white head wrap around his head, and his hair is in a high ponytail. An elf by the looks of it. Although very quickly you can tell that this is a sylph. Kind of like an Undyne like you, Sanku, except with the power of the air rather than the sea. And she kind of has
Solidarity.
a bored-looking face on, clashing with the curious expression of their leader and the stoic expression of the tough guy. And kind of lounging back against a tree is a particularly strange-looking fellow. A Venera, a monkey person. Except his fur is like candy red.
I love him.
And Sanku, I think you recognize that even though he is red, you think he's an Undine as well.
Oh.
Senku can sense it.
It's more, yeah, you can sense there's like a lot of water elemental energy with him. Specifically, you think maybe from like the way that he like seems to be like fresh out of a bath, if that makes sense. He feels like those apes, you know, the monkeys that like have saunas, you know the ones?
I love them.
And he's kind of like chilled, laid back, and smiling. And I think the leader, the Suli, steps forward, and she bows a little bit, and she says, "Greetings, everyone. My name is Bhavana Wadargese. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I am the leader, well, representative of the Arms of Balance." And she kind of like stands up. You can tell that these guys are all Indian.
Oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She turns, which, you know, Vudra. They're from fancy India. She turns and gestures to the Sylph. This is Sunita Gupta. And Sunita, again, still looking kind of bored, shrugs and waves at you. Bumat. Bumat is the human, the tough guy. He gives you all a thumbs up. And Raunak. And Raunak is the Venera, who just kind of grins and gives you a V sign. Says, "Sup, dudes?
Hi.
Hey.
You got more than 7 feathers as well?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Bumat kind of claps his hands together and says, "Seems you're some worthy opponents. Have they told you what we're going to be doing here?"
Nah, they haven't. They just
I
said
assume
follow.
we're gonna be
He
fighting.
seems to be very cryptic about it. Masami looks at Gumwai.
Gumwai is avoiding eye contact. He's looking into the sky.
What is this? What is this? It's like
Weird.
he looks guilty.
Bhavana kind of like shrugs and says, "Whatever it is, I'm sure that we'll all be ready to do our best. We've been training for a long time for this, after all." And
So have we.
Sunita finally smiles and says, "Well, I'm sure this will be a fight for the ages, then." And she kind of like whooshes her arms back and gets into a martial arts stance. Says, "I'm ready to." And then Gumwai says, "This will not be a fight.
Aw. Okay, what's up? What
Not
am I doing?
Seriously?
Not in the traditional sense. Consider this more a challenge, a test of your skills, a task as
Okay.
ancient as time itself.
A fetch quest? Sorry.
Are you all ready for a set of
Sure.
tree tasks?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You will each elect one person to complete each of these tasks, and we will see which of you will be able to complete them faster and more efficiently. Only once,
Okay.
and the winner of the best of tree will be awarded treasure, not feathers, but something greater to help you in your furthering your protection of these feathers.
Oh, cool.
The loser will have to battle me. He punches his hands together.
Oh, alright.
Are you all prepared? And I think
Sure.
the arms of balance are kind of like looking at each other, scratching their heads. And
I mean,
Yeah, sure.
how hard can it be, right?
Don't say that.
Let's get to it.
Wadargase, the leader, bows her head a little bit and says, "Yes, I believe so. We will be able to face any challenge you throw at us." Arms of balance, and all 3 of them behind her kind of like get into position. And she says, "We will elect Bumat for our first round." And Bumat, again, human, tough guy, steps forward, cracks his neck a bit, and says, "I'm ready!" And Gumwai turns to you and says, "Radiant wins. Who will you elect for your first challenger?"
Oh,
Let's
we don't
go
get to
first.
know beforehand.
Without even a thought of what it actually is. Okay.
Let's go first.
I mean, hey. Masami, This is like a strength thing.
You're the strongest out of all of us.
Yeah.
So
should I?
If you want to.
I think you're probably the best bet.
Okay. Chuji turns around and raises their hand and goes, I volunteer.
All right. And I think he kind of nods and says, then we'll let the challenge begin. Challenge 1. Banana Challenge!
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Dice will roll return after these messages.
Hello everyone, and thanks for listening to another episode of Dice Will Roll. Have you been enjoying the tournament so far? Have you been fisting some phoenixes, perhaps? Don't do that, it's bad for your health. You know what's good for your health? Reviewing Dice Will Roll on whatever podcasting service you like to listen to. Whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Leaving us a review, a 5-star review, please and thank you. And some kind words can really go a long way in helping the show get out there. And most importantly, tell your friends about this show. Tell them you like it. Tell them about cool stuff. Draw some fan art and be like, oh, everyone, look at this cool podcast you should check out. Stuff like that seriously helps us grow so much. We have been doing really well this season, and we want to keep it rolling, as it were. So if you are able to, I would really appreciate that. That is all for now, everyone. Thank you so much, and keep it rolling!
We now return to Dice Will Roll.
Hidden through the underbrush of the jungle, you will find rare Bunmu and red bananas. You have 2 minutes to gather as many bananas as possible in this time. Whoever brings back the most bananas will be the winner of the first challenge.
Well, Chuji, along with strength, you also have speed.
Oh, alright, baby, let's go.
Okay, so the way this is gonna go, we're gonna split this into 3 turns, okay?
Okay.
To start, Bumat nods and says, ready. And you can see Gunwai raise his hand, then Kurai chop the air and says, go! And Bumat rushes into the jungle.
Chuji also dies.
Okay, so Chuji, what are you going to do on your first turn? How are you going to do this? What's the plan? How are you going to seek out bananas?
Okay, I have a question. Is the undergrowth of the forest rough terrain?
I will say yes. I think you'll find more bananas where the terrain is rougher, because there's less animals eating them, right?
Yes, then Chuji is going to hopping stride as much as they possibly can.
Okay, so are you going to spend your first turn, we'll say, this is all very abstract, I'm kind of making stuff up as I go.
Yeah,
are you going to go deeper into the jungle, into the thick undergrowth to find these bananas?
Yes.
Okay, I think in that case I will give you a +1, a +2 on any checks you make on your next 2 turns to find bananas, which means you might be able to find even more.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
As you're looking, you see Bumat run in. He doesn't stray as deep as you, but what you do see is he claps his hands together, and the sand beneath him ripples and turns into a stage that kind of carries him around, and you see him getting up into the trees and snagging bananas out of them. So evidently, he has power over sand.
Damn. Him too?
Seems so. So he has collected, let's see how many bananas he's collected. So he's going to roll a survival check, and that is a 14 plus his survival, which is a 26, meaning that he got 30, he rolled a 30, so I'm going to give him 3 bananas.
Okay.
So Chuji, I'm going to be giving you a +2 on these rolls, which will hopefully help you catch more bananas.
Hopefully.
Okay, Chuji, it is your turn now. He's doing that, he's catching bananas. What do? You don't have to roll survival. If you can justify anything else, I will allow you to do it.
Okay. I'm gonna try to justify crafting.
Okay.
Or, wait, no. I'm going to try to justify acrobatics because Chuji is jumping to do this, and probably jumping between trees.
I'll allow it. Chuji, you are jumping, you got a +2 on this acrobatics roll, what do you do? Hit me!
This is a +25 in total.
Okay, wow.
Please God. Please God.
God.
I knew I should have rolled my fucking real dice.
What did you roll?
I rolled a nat fucking 1.
Okay, so I think what happens is, Chuji, as you are jumping, you grab something that's not a banana.
Snake.
And a snake hisses loudly in your face and lunges at you. And you have spent precious seconds wrestling off against it, throwing it away, as you see Bhavana kind of still jumping around and collecting more bananas. So he has rolled an 8 plus 26, that's a 24. He adds, we're going to add 2 more bananas to his list. So he's got 5 total. Chuji is looking desperate for you. He is traversing this terrain pretty easily too.
I'm getting my fucking real dice. Give me a second.
Fair.
I don't trust Foundry.
That's fair.
Alright, I'm getting out my lucky gay dice that my boyfriend got me.
Okay,
Yay.
come on. Let's get a good roll on this.
If I don't get a good roll, you're gonna catch me on the 5 o'clock news. Come on, baby. Give me some nanners! That's 16 plus 25.
16 plus 25?
It's a
that
41.
Is a 41?
Yeah.
Damn! Okay, Chuji, spurred on by this terrible, terrible state of affairs, you jump and you were like lunging, banana, as fast as you can. And you turn and glance over at Bumat, and we'll see if he's able to get anything. And he rolled an 11 plus 26. That's going to be a 37. He gets 3 more bananas. And Gumwai shouts, "Time!"
Fuck!
And Chuji, you rush back with 4 bananas, and Bumat rushes back with 8. He turns and looks at you and smiles and kind of offers a handshake and says, "You did well, friend. I saw your leaps. Very impressive."
Shut up.
He goes to pat you on the shoulder.
Chuji shrugs him off.
Sore loser. Gumwai says, "Arms of Balance have won their first challenge. Who will be the next challenger?"
I'll go.
And Raunak, the Venera Undyne, steps forward and says, "Yeah, I don't mind. I can do this." Gumwai looks and says, "Our next challenge is the Coconut Challenge."
All right.
This challenge will take place on a muddy plateau. He points and you can see that there's like a mud field not too far from here. And you can see there are 2 enforcers standing on either side of the 400-foot wide muddy clearing. Gumwai approaches you, both of you, and he puts a coconut in your hand, Sanku, and a coconut in your hand, Raunak. And he says, "The winner will be whoever can cross this muddy field and give the other enforcer the cleanest coconut. You have 1 minute."
Clean it. Okay.
Okay.
And Raunak turns to you and says, "You think you got this, bud?"
I think so.
Alright, let's go! And Raunak rushes over to one side of the 400-foot clearing, and you rush over to the other side. What's the plan? How do you think you're going to get across this clearing with your clean coconut? The mud is very deep.
So, it doesn't necessarily mean that I can't get dirty, right? It just has to not be dirty by the end of it, correct?
Yeah, I guess.
Then I go in and I don't care, and I don't care if it gets dirty, and then at the end of the clearing, I cast a water spell so that it's washed.
Okay, so for your first action, you just run into the mud. You are just running like hell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Raunak is on the other side, and he is basically, he is running, but he's actually trying to juggle it in the air. He's like punching at the coconut, but before his punch lands, you can see blasts of steam punching it into the air, cushioning it.
I see.
So you can tell that this guy, even though he's an Undyne, seems to have an affinity for fire.
Interesting.
So that's your first action. Second action, you are starting to cross against him. Do you do anything particular, or are you just running?
No, I think he's just trying to make it pass. He's holding on to his coconut. He's going in the mud.
Okay, well, Ramnak looks at you as you're running, realizes what you're up to, and he leaps, spins in the air, spin kicks it as far as he can.
Ah, fuck you!
Sanku, do you want to make a reflex save to see if you're able to hold onto the coconut and stop it from being kicked as far as possible?
Yeah.
Because if he does that, he might fuck you over and you might not be able to bring it back within 1 minute. Yeah, you'd have to beat a 37.
I roll a 37.
No, that was his attack DC. His attack modifier DC. Okay, Sanku, he's running and he sees you, and like he punts it into the air really high, jumps and spin kicks at your coconut, but you duck into the mud, and he says, "Sorry, man, we're the shot." Catches the coconut and keeps running.
You ass!
And with your last turn, you're right in front of there, Sanku. What do you do?
Quench or prestidigitation. I think he's just gonna cast prestidigitation.
Okay, so I want you to make me a nature check. With your quench, I would automatically succeed, but because this is a cantrip, if you wanted this to be spick and span, you're gonna need to make a nature check to see how well you can clean it quickly.
Would 32 work?
I was gonna make the DC 30. Sanku, you are covered in mud from head to toe. But as you hold it over the air and a sheen passes over it, it is a spotless coconut. And you hand it to the enforcer. The two enforcers meet as Raunak has handed his over, and they compare, and Raunak's has a little bit of mud from when he tried to spin kick you.
Senku looks over at Raunak and he's got a smug little face on.
And Raunak shrugs and says, fine, I guess you win. He fist bumps you.
He's like, okay, I'm gonna go clean off.
Yeah, you are
covered in mud.
You are just brown, Sanku.
Hey, just like me.
Bhavana Watergase looks over at Sunita, and Bhavana nods a little bit and says, Sunita, would you like to take on the final round? And Sunita sighs and says, well, I suppose we'll have to do our best, won't we? And she steps forward and bows to you, Masami, and says, I'll be your opponent.
Masami bows back and goes, may the best person win.
I think the enforcer, Gumboy, kind of puts his hands together and says, and for our last challenge, the Boulder Challenge! I have hidden a silver chain under the rocks of this river! He points at a river that is connecting to the sea near you. And he points, it is going very, very fast. There is a bridge passing over it. You must find a way to find this silver chain from underneath the boulder I have put it beneath. You will take turns, and the winner will be the first one to uncover it.
Wait, so the boulder is on a river?
Yeah, there's a river. Above the river is a bridge. The boulder specifically has a silver chain beneath it. Okay. Your job is to uproot the boulder while staying on the bridge and get the silver chain out from beneath it.
Okay. I was a little confused for a second. Got it.
All good. Sunita walks up to you, and she is beautiful. She's got pale blue skin and white markings along it and white hair. And she kind of tilts her head a little bit to the side and says, well, would you like to go first, or shall I?
No preference.
Then you shall go first. Loosen the boulder for me, shall you?
Sure, why not?
So, the way that this works is, this isn't a tree turn thing. The boulder has a set amount of HP. Mm-hmm. And whoever brings it to 0 HP first, or finds another way to uproot it, wins. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, you go first, Masami. The boulder is beneath you. It's 50 feet below. You have to stay on the bridge to do this. Okay. What do you do?
Damn. Okay. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I think Masami is just gonna use telekinetic projectile as a test.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
40.
Yo! Okay, that is a lot of... That's gonna be a crit. Roll damage.
30 damage. Well, if it's a crit?
Yeah, times 2.
Yeah, 60.
Okay, Masami, what do you use for your telekinetic projectile?
I think they just kind of use, you know what? I think they use rocks from the river.
Oh, wow, okay, cool. So you kind of like raise a hand and loads of rocks from the river float out, and then they all bash into this rock from other sides?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can see that this rock is very badly damaged already.
Okay.
And as he finishes, Sunita kind of like smirks and says, thanks for loosening it up for me. Now let me show you how a pro does it. And she waves her hand in the air, and the wind kind of like swirls. It turns into a snowstorm around her hand. It looks like she has control over ice. And she is going to just blast this like snowstorm against the boulder. And that is going to be a 42 to hit, which is also a crit. So it's going to be double of 26. That's going to be 52 extra damage. And the boulder does not break. But it is very obviously cracked, almost in half. And you see that smugness drain from Sunita's face immediately. Like she's like, ah, shit.
Looks like someone got their math wrong.
Masami, it is your turn. The boulder looks like it's almost about to explode.
Then I guess instead of using a spell slot, and they'll be smart about this, and they're going to use telekinetic projectile again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I won't use True Trick. Yep. So they're just gonna use telekinetic projectile again. Same method with the rocks from the river. This time, I think they're probably gonna try to use the rocks under the boulder. Try to like lift them up from under it and burst it down from the bottom.
Okay, go for it.
35.
At 35, yeah, that's gonna be a hit. Roll damage.
33.
And Masami, how do you do this?
I think the way that they do it is they do use a bunch of the rocks from under the boulder, and they have their arms down, and once they get a good grasp of them, they bring them up, and all of the rocks kind of spike up in a sort of cross shape, so the boulder is pretty much crushed from the bottom up.
Wow, okay, yeah, it explodes, and a silver chain flies down the water, and one of the enforcers grabs it, picks it up, and says, "Winner!" And Sunita turns and looks at you before just exhaling and smiling and offering you a hand, saying, "Well done, you really showed me."
Listen, I think you kind of had that. I just got lucky. Masami gives him a handshake.
And with that, the challenge has ended, and Radiant wins, Gumwai says. You are the victors!
Yay!
Shuji looks grumpy.
Oh no.
Sorry, Chuji. Oh, come here. You need a hug.
No, I don't.
No, I'm coming over.
No, you're not.
Watch out, or I'll cast Tether, and then you'll be forced to hug me.
I'll catch fear. I'll make you run away.
I think Bamovich comes over and says, "No wonder you've got so many silver feathers already. You're really impressive, everyone."
Thank you. You did really good, too.
Roundnut grins and says, "Yeah, sorry for almost, trying to spin kick you. Hey, what you gonna do, right?"
You sure tried.
Sunita nods and says, "Well, hopefully we'll be able to see you all very soon. Just because you won now doesn't mean we're giving up anytime soon."
Oh, I hope that I see you at the finals.
And I think Bhavana, the leader, walks past Masami and Sanku and goes up to you, Chuji, and puts a hand on your shoulder and looks into your eyes with her, stormy white eyes and says, "It's alright to be disappointed."
No.
You're allowed to want what you want. But I want to tell you that I was very impressed by how you were able to do.
Chuji goes blue.
She takes something out of her pocket and says, "You may share these among your friends as you like. Consider it a gift from me." And she hands you 3 potions.
Thanks.
These are potions of grounding. And inside the flasks, there's like a amber-like syrup. Drinking one of these will turn you into a living lightning rod, allowing you to draw electricity from others who would be struck by electricity.
Huh.
The way that you were able to sacrifice your own victory, but at the same time support your allies into winning, makes me think that you'll get some good use out of this. Don't ever give up, friend. She's like intensely serious.
Yes, thank you.
And I think when you say thank you, she smiles, and there's like a weird crackle of electricity in her hair, and you can tell, oh, she's got electricity powers. All of them have like an alternate element: sand, steam, snow, and thunder.
Wow.
Cool.
Gumwhite turns to you all, and he says, "Now, for your reward as promised." And he pulls out a bag, and he gives it to you, Masami. And Masami, that is a heavy fucking bag, and you can tell from the clinking noise inside, it's full of coin.
Oh my god.
Yay!
1,500 gold to the victors.
Okay, thanks.
Wow.
That is more gold than many people see in a year.
Damn.
God, y'all just have this. Okay.
Procured legally, he nods.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
He's like, I don't commit crimes anymore. I need you to know this.
Promise.
The arms of balance stand back and bow, and Bhavana kind of turns and says, "I suspect we'll now have to deal with a very strong opponent." And Gumwhite punches his hands together and says, "If you don't see these guys in the finals, know that we, the enforcers, will have put them in their place. Arms of balance, are you ready?"
You better kick their ass!
And the arms of balance go, "Yeah!" And Hikari turns and says, if you'd like, we can all leave now.
Yeah, we were gonna go exploring, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do that. Are you okay, Chuji?
Yes.
You sure you're not a little butthurt?
I'm not butthurt! And they walk off.
Okay, so 3 potions of grounding. How do you want to divide those up?
1 for each?
Okay. You're back on the map of Danger Island. You were taken a little bit off course, but hey, so what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to head now? What's the plan?
Well,
we wanted to head to that lake.
yeah, we were right at that lake, and we were gonna look at it.
So you don't
But
want to recon this new area that you're in? You just want to go directly back to the lake?
Well, you
Oh, we can
while we're
recon
here.
Yeah, if we're here, we can recon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me see if you find anything interesting. So you now have 19 actions left on this day, and you find a stone market. Very nice. And yeah, that's about it. Does anyone want to visit the stone market, or are you all good?
I'm okay.
Chuji's
I
good.
think we're okay.
Okay. Well, back to the south, to that cool lake. You now stand on the edge of a beautiful crystal lake, which is only separated by a tin cliff wall from the sea around Danger Island. You're kind of like walking alongside this like basically very narrow, very tall passageway. On one hand beneath you is the lake. On the other hand beneath you is the sea. It's a really beautiful construct. Do you want to recon, or are you just enjoying the view?
We'll just take an action to enjoy the view.
It does not take an action.
Okay.
Well, we were gonna...
Recon.
I assume we were gonna recon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, you spend an action to do so. And as you're looking around, I think you see something in the lake itself.
Oh.
At first you assume it's an island. But it is not. Because the last time you checked, islands don't move. Would you all like to roll a nature check?
Yeah,
Sure.
please.
Not a nat 20, but a 20.
Yeah, dirty 20.
19.
22.
Y'all, it's a fucking turtle.
Oh! I knew it.
A turtle that is size gargantuan.
Oh, shit.
What?
Which means it is about as big as a small mountain. It
Oh my God.
pokes its
That's-
head out of the water and it kind of like looks around before like ducking its head. And it's just waddling around. It looks like a giant snapping turtle. It's just waddling around in this lake, chilling out. Looks like it hasn't noticed you. You could get the drop on it and fight it and maybe, get some stuff from it, or you could leave it be. It's up to you guys.
Slay.
Oh my god.
No, I don't think Senku wants to just fight every big thing that exists, but I think that's just because of the kind of person he is.
Judy looks
Just
itchy.
saying.
Masami is trying to like gauge how strong this thing is before approaching, if they even want to approach at all.
Guys, are there not people actively looking for us to fight us?
Yeah.
Do you want... I have a limited resource of cool epic spells.
I also have a limited resource, which is why I'm gauging, not approaching.
Masami, you can tell that you'd probably be... this thing is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely it's strong. But it's not so strong that it would be a serious threat to you.
Okay.
Sure, it could level a small village in a few minutes, but... that's because those guys aren't... they don't have any levels in Fighter or Wizard or whatever.
They're actually just level 0.
I think you can tell that you would be able to take this thing on relatively easily without it being the end of the world for you all.
Dare, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Does it look similar to that egg?
Chuji, I have bad news.
Yeah.
The egg is bigger. There is no way in hell this turtle laid the egg.
Turtle, did you lay this egg? Fine, alright.
So what's the plan? Beat its ass or keep it investigating? Because you haven't finished reconning this area. There might be still more stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
But you could get monster parchment, or you could leave it.
I'll defect, I guess. Alright, we defer. Wait. What's the word? Shuji, scratches their eyes.
Defer is letting other, if you're going to defer the decision to us, then you're just letting us make the decision, or you'll defer to the group, meaning that you'll accept whatever outcome. Defect means that you're going to turn away from whatever decision we make.
One of those, yeah.
Okay, well, the thing is, we are strong enough to take it down, it's just a matter of our resources. And we also haven't finished reconning the place anyway.
Chuji remembers that they're the one who lost just now, so they just kind of shrug and they go, I guess we can save our stuff.
There's, mountains to the west.
I just want you all to know how lucky you are that you're encountering an animal that isn't going to actively chase you.
Yeah.
Because not every beast you find on this island is going to give you the choice of, maybe I'll just walk away.
That's
true.
why I'm walking away.
Okay.
If it doesn't want to fight me actively, I'm not gonna fight it.
So do you guys keep reconning?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You continue walking, and after a while walking along this cliff separating lake and sea, that's when you see it. The Scary Tower.
Why is it scary?
It's a scary tower.
Why is the tower scary?
Right now, it's about 2 o'clock. But where you are, this kind of between sea and lake, it's a little overcast. And standing solitary on this ridge is a watchtower. And it's scary.
Yeah?
There's something about it that just immediately makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable.
That shit gives me the chills.
Lolo nods and says, "You're right, Chuji. It does seem to be quite the scary tower."
What kind of freaks are over there?
Maybe it's the grave treaders.
No, we know where they are.
Oh, I know, I'm joking. I don't know.
Hikari kind of nods a little bit as she's looking around, and she says, this does not seem like a kind of place we would have a team base. It's, unless Lady Hao Jin was particularly cruel, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Wouldn't you agree?
Well,
Kind
yeah.
of, yeah.
A team place?
Well, to me, it seems to be quite a scary tower.
Well, it is kind of a scary tower.
We got that. Are we gonna do something about it?
Are we? She looks... You're the team. I just follow. Even if it's into a scary tower, she says, looking back at the tower.
Do you not want to go to the scary
I
tower?
will follow you
Hikari?
wherever you lead.
We'll make sure you're away from danger, we promise.
I kind of want to know what's inside.
Inside of the scary tower?
We got jumped on by another team, I swear. But, I mean...
What, are you gonna have a heart attack?
Don't be nice to him.
I'm sorry, is your heart valve gonna pop?
No, don't say mean things to him.
It gives me a bad vibe, but I suppose we'll have to investigate. For adventure, team!
For adventure!
Hey!
Do you guys all enter the scary tower?
Yeah.
Damn, we can't even scope it out.
Well, like, you can see it's a watchtower. Would you like to, like, look at it from the outside?
Yeah, is there, like, any, like, clues we can, like, gauge about what it is?
Yeah.
Aside from a spooky watchtower?
Do you want to roll maybe, like, a crafting or society check?
Crafting, absolutely.
Okay. Sanku, you're not really sure. Lolo on your shoulder says, well, Sanku, to me it looks like perhaps this is some sort of security post or maybe a place of worship. That's your dubious knowledge kicking in. You don't fucking know. One of those is right.
Senku is like, I think it's probably a security tower.
Masami, you can tell that is true. On top of that, it seems that this tower perhaps was one that was here during the second Bunmu settlement, which is to say the people that left here when King Magaru attacked.
I see.
Chuji, with your crafting roll, you can tell that, yep, it definitely was abandoned when King Magaru attacked. Probably because of the burn marks all over this tower.
Oh. Oh, shit.
What you guys can kind of quickly surmise is that this watchtower was once the guard post of the protectors of Bunmu, who like stayed out on the edge of the sea, and when the land bridge event occurred and monsters came over, maybe they were still protecting it when King Mogaru attacked.
Yikes.
Hmm.
What do you guys do? There might be treasure inside, Lolo says helpfully.
Might as well then.
Yeah. If it's not burnt...
Aye.
Sure, fuck it, let's go inside. I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid either. This'll be a good laugh. Ho ho ho! He
Ha
says,
ha ha!
laughing nervously. Ho 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 ho!
He also laughs nervously.
You all enter the scary tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You make your way inside. And yeah, this place... Man... The vibes are not... They're bad vibes, everyone. You enter, and it's like the... It's a stone entryway, and inside you can see, like, there's... It's obviously empty. There's stairs that lead upwards. There's, like, extinguished places for holding torches. It towers up about 40 feet to a watch point. But there's just this energy to this place. And I just want to know. I just want to know all of your passive perceptions, like your perception DCs, real fast.
So it would just be a plus 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
31.
32.
29.
Okay. Chuji, I think you see it for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
A woman in the corner of your eyes.
Oh no.
On her hands and
They
knees.
jump. They jump.
You look and it's gone.
Okay, maybe this is a really bad idea after all.
Ah, Lolo says. Sanku's halfway up the stairs.
Oh.
What's wrong, Chuji? Did you see something?
I saw someone.
There's no one here.
Not anymore.
What did you see?
A lady on her hands and knees.
What?
What?
A ghost.
Masami wants to make sure this isn't a fucking prank. Detect magic.
Yeah, you got your maga senses, Masami. There's nothing magical around here. At least. Nothing, no magic spells.
Well, there isn't a team fucking us over with visions, so it's not that.
Hey, Masami.
What?
You feel like a breath on the back of your neck.
Masami takes out... Masami quick draws with a Kusarigama and fucking turns around.
Nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm with Chuji here. Got people fucking breathing down your necks, Jesus Christ.
We can leave.
I think it would be good to leave because... Bad vibe. Worse vibe than what we experienced outside.
Sure, we could go.
Okay, do you guys want to leave?
Mm-hmm.
You leave the Scary
Yeah.
Tower.
Cool.
If only it were that easy.
Fuck.
Because I think Sanku finally you see her.
Mm-hmm.
But not before you hear her.
I knew it. Stop it.
And Sanku, you look up and you see a woman on her hands and knees on the ceiling. Her hair is long and black, her eyes are sunken, and her face is white. And like her skin is almost like pulled tight over her skull. And she's beautiful in the most tragic of ways. And she drops limply from the ceiling directly in front of the door. And she stands up, moving her body uncannily as she does. And she locks eyes with you, Chuji, at the front. And I think all of you know enough about ghost stories to know that this is a fucking Unryo.
Yeah.
The abandoned guard lets out a gurgling scream before she lunges at you all, bitter and resentful for the life that still pumps through your blood. And you all need to take a step back and fight against the guardian of the Watchtower.
This episode of Dice Roll would not have been possible without the support of our patrons. GP Dora, Lemon Jam Tart, Marshmallow Berry, Sarissa, Ferric Falcon, Luis Loza, Fawn Sims, Alexander Criswell, May Cohen, Skyly, Blurst Hellion, Kendra West, Ren, Genuinely Tricked, Transgirl Trish, Zurenwald, Bao Punyan, Johnny the Catman, Matthew Wilson Krasnovich, Tillen Shark, Fearin, Glitch HD, Jay Snooks, Zenith Drums, Josh Heathcote, Torbjorn, Introduction, Sophia Valera, G. Barbera, Luke, Gideon, Sarah B, Seth, Ravona Darkglow, Dolore, Kira, Lichalope, Gizmo, Matthew, Cass, Fable McElduff, Ava, Rem T. Bright, Lonesome Chunk, Steph, Sean C, Natasha Lumley, Rhiannon C, Ellie, Jenna Mitchell, Kane Kendrick, Triceratops, Grey Kitsune, Anna Maria, Roxy, Jordan, Cynical Spinsters, Emily Laderna, John the Book Hoarder, SS66 Seeker, and Dame Valerie III. Special thanks to the patrons who submitted NPCs for this episode. Calamity Callie by May Cohen, Bhavana Watergase by Blurst Hellion, Sunita Gupta by Dolore, Brownak Gyan by Roxy, and Bumat by Tillen Shark. See what you could get for your support? Check out patreon.com/diceroll and keep it rolling.